and me. No matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me. So happy together.
Hello everyone, welcome to So Happy Together. My name is Kirby Lammers.
I am Lisette Lammers. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
That's right. Where have you been?
I've been here.
It's just we had to take a little bit of time off here. That Champions Kids Camp kind of wore us out a little bit, huh?
No.
Okay.
No.
All those kids, but we did have a great camp.
We had a great
Right. And be sure to go to championskidscamp.org. Check that out. We have big passion towards camp.
Yes.
And so, but anyway, today we're going to get right into the show because this is a huge subject matter. And actually, it's a very scary subject matter. I mean, men, be scared to death over this because you really need to be. It is something to go through. We are talking about the huge M word, and it is called menopause. Oh, man.
Wow. If
Menopause.
you can live through this in your marriage, you have a tough marriage.
I tell you what,
You have
a lot
strong
of
marriage.
couples get divorced, and they're in that 50, years old
yeah.
type range,
It's tough.
and anywhere between 45 and 60 in that range. And many divorces happen because it's just so tough to deal with.
Yes.
And the men are getting on your nerves, and of course y'all are getting on our nerves and friction.
Our
And so
emotions are flying high.
if you haven't had a really good, strong, stable marriage to begin with, this is
gonna be
probably what will
challenging.
break the ice. You agree?
It's going to be challenging. But Kirby, I've said in many shows that one of my favorite attributes about you is patience. Because
Yeah.
men, that's your secret weapon for a woman going through menopause. It's lots of patience.
It was mine. However, I advise all you men out there, go online, learn as much as you can
Oh, that's
about
good advice.
menopause. Now, I had to learn how to do this because, being a business coach and coaching companies on how to deal with many women sometimes at the same time have menopause
can you
within the
imagine?
same
Oh my goodness, you
within
have
the
PMS
same
for
building
the young
or
ones
the
and menopause for the older ones in an office.
I tell you what, it could create war within the workplace. And so I've had to learn about this. And but my mother was even real good explaining this to my brother and I.
Really? Your mom
Yes,
did
she
that?
really was. I've got to
love your
give my mom a lot of credit. 90 years old, still going
90
strong.
years old.
And so anyway, it was important. And I remember when my mom went through menopause, and I remember how difficult it was for her, and I remember how difficult it was for my dad and my brother and I too. However, we learned how to have that patience and understand it wasn't her fault.
It's not her fault.
And it's not your fault, and it's not any of the females' faults at all.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that just happens in life, and it's called hormones, okay?
Oh my goodness, because like childbearing, menopause is a very unique experience for women. No hard and fast rules on how it will affect women, only guidelines, because some experience it early in life and others experience it late in life. Some have hot flashes and night sweats, while others are Jekyll and Hyde. But it's not, I know it's not fun to go through menopause, but it's not all doom and gloom. I know
Jekyll and Hyde.
Jekyll and Hyde.
I agree with
You
that.
agree
I
with the
never
Jekyll
knew
and Hyde?
who I was
my
going to come
goodness.
home with.
When you're like, But you do get the graying hair. I'm going to see Sherry next week. Loss of libido. You have tiredness, the change of hormones. And what about the intimacy with your spouse? Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Now, menopause.
Pause.
How appropriate is that said? Because
Men are.
your sex life is on
Oh
pause.
my goodness, it is true.
However, it's not permanent pause, but it's
It's
going to
just
be
be a
pause
pause
for quite a while.
Wow. Oh my
Just expect,
goodness.
because you're right, your libido, your hormones are
They're
changing.
changing.
And
know
so, you can't help it, but it is what it is. And that's where it takes patience. But it's going to be some give and take.
But
You
it
got to
comes
understand
back.
my nerves.
That's right.
My wants and
Wants and
needs.
needs.
I got to understand yours. And we've
That's
got to
right.
find that happy medium.
That's right. And so with the right hormone replacement therapy, it can be very beneficial to restore that sex life.
Well, you're
and
going to have to
normalcy.
replace all that
Right.
that you're losing.
So, I always start with something from the Bible because,
Right.
so what does God say about menopause? Well, Christian women are God-centered and they are not self-centered. And she can take comfort in knowing the knowledge that it is who we are on the inside that matters to God and not what we look like on the outside.
Okay.
So Proverbs 31:30, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. So, it's important. So the aging process, including menopause, should not be feared. And we have the reassurance that God's grace is sufficient to get us through whatever life throws at us. So in 2 Corinthians 12:9, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Mm-hmm. So I rely on God for his strength because a godly woman will take her anxieties to the Lord in prayer and seek his guidance, his wisdom, and his strength in order to overcome. In 1 Peter 5:7, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you.
Absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is a godly husband supposed to do? You're a godly husband.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to make it your business, like you said. You told them to research it, right?
Yes,
you're going to make it your
research it.
business to encourage her. You will show her patience when emotions run high and the wife behaves strangely.
And she will.
And she will. And he will be there for reassurance and comfort. Thank you, honey. And the couple should present their petition to the Lord in prayer.
Yes.
And confident of receiving divine help. In Psalm 91, 9 through 11, if you make the Most High your dwelling, even in the Lord who is my refuge, then no harm will befall you. No disaster will come near your tent, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways.
That's right.
Isn't that wonderful? Because it is a scary time for women, and we all
men.
and we all don't have the same reaction and the same. Some will have the hot flashes and night sweats, but like we said, others will be the crazy people, the Jekyll and the Hyde, and you might have some of the menopause symptoms, and you might not have any. I mean, I've never had children. I started to perimenopause about 48. I noticed that my menstruation was changing,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, Kirby, I just don't feel right. Kirby, I just don't feel right. Kirby, I just don't feel like myself. But then, so as it started to come up, and I think I've said it in another show when I turned 50, that was actually probably one of my darkest times. I mean, I was having the tachycardia. I had a lot of anxiety. That's how it...
Yeah. Explain what tachycardia is for some that may not.
It's just that rapid heart rate, palpitations that
Yeah.
it just won't stop. I mean, because your thyroid's out of whack, you're just out of whack. Your body is changing, and it's flushing, it's flashing, and those little silly old hot flashes, eventually they do go away, but you can still have them. I mean, it's frustrating, but like I said, if you pray and really, really be confident that the Lord will help you, even through menopause. I mean, what were some of your experiences with me, Kirby?
Well, you have to treat it almost like a sickness. And so on the way home, I would think, all right, I know I've got to go home, and I don't know what I'm walking into. Sometimes you go, maybe I need just to go the opposite direction. However, that's not me. I can't wait to get home and see my wife.
Oh,
so the thing is that it's important to talk positive self-talk,
Mm-hmm.
all right? And say, all right, I'm going to go home and see my wife. So I would open the door, and I could take one look at her and know if I should speak or not speak. Right. I mean, and you can get in trouble for if you speak, be quiet. I'm just having a terrible day. If you don't speak, well, what, you don't love me anymore?
I know.
You can't win.
You can't win.
You just can't win. So I would walk in the door and go, are you going to be mean to me today?
I think your brother told us that Jenny would, when she was going through the change, that she would say that. She goes, I'm going to be mean today, or I'm not going to be in a good mood today. And she just, it's, communication
And
once
goes,
again.
all right, time to go find a project.
Okay, so then the men just kind of go do their thing, because Some days you are going to feel like you're okay, and
Right.
other days you won't understand, why am I feeling? And then the weight gain, that was really frustrating.
It's very tough.
Oh my goodness, you get that extra layer of fat, and you're like, why am I gaining weight?
You have 2 layers of skin, huh?
No, you're like, I didn't like that part at all. And then you have to change your diet and really, watch what you're eating. And I know I'm constantly tweaking, because now I'll be 59 in a few months. So I'm already starting a new program. I went and had my thyroid checked and my
Right.
hormone panel. I decided that I'm almost 60. So every decade, everything changes. So I'm still trying to tweak what I'm doing and to see what I need to do to continue to feel good in my next decade. Because you always say, wait till you're 60, wait till you're 60. And I'm like, well, what does that feel like, I mean, it's scary. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be proactive. I'll be 59 in 3 months. What do I have to do? Right,
Well,
Kirby?
that's what I did.
And that's
And
what
I'm 67 years old.
Oh, you look
And stay in shape.
Stay in shape.
and
Exercise.
Take care of my body, exercise. I eat very, very good.
We eat a lot of greens,
very
a lot of
clean,
broccoli. I'm
very
going to
clean.
turn into a piece of broccoli.
And so, what do you want to be like in that next decade?
yeah.
So what do I want to be like in my 70s and 80s? I better be doing the right things right now.
That's right.
So women that you're maybe listening to this show, and maybe you're in your teens or 20s or 30s, what you do right now
It does make a
affect your
difference.
hormones, and it does affect your relationships, okay?
Yeah.
It does affect everything, how you feel about yourself. If you don't feel good about yourself and you go through this menopause, what's going to happen?
Oh my goodness.
You're going
It
to
just
feel
is
worse.
It's going to intensify. Yeah.
So you need to be your own person. You need to feel confident.
Confident.
You need to go, I've got this. I know what's coming. We're going to get through this. And then it's the communication, active communication between us in the relationship.
Yes.
So I didn't know if she's going to be mean to me or not. Let's say I come home and she is being mean to me. And I would say, honey, I understand. I'm so sorry you're going through that.
Thank you.
Let's get dinner out of the way. Is there something I can do? And then I would find a project. It's time to go play guitar. It's time to go, look at a video. It's time to go prepare for the next day for my clients. I mean,
Right,
something.
to just
Go
leave
work
her
in the
alone.
yard. Go visit a neighbor. And you don't know.
escaping.
In the meantime, like at dinner, you would just start breaking out in sweats in the
know,
middle of the
just
meal.
in the middle of
I mean,
dinner.
all of a sudden, she's,
I'm just like,
hair's going back. Oh my goodness. And next moment, honey, can you get me a sweater?
Yeah, I
and then
know, 'cause you'll be
she's like
cold
this
too,
and then a
and
little snuggy
I
eyed,
know, I'm freezing.
Yeah, boy, it's just got to come off. Oh man.
and then the night
just
sweats, and you're
constant.
just like, oh, you can't take it.
So we'd go to bed, and she likes to snuggle. She's a snuggler, so she wants to snuggle for a while, and we talk, Well, here we go, and she starts to snuggle, and it's like, I call
Oh,
it.
that heat wave comes
She
over me.
is clammy. I mean, it's just like
Calls
hugging
me
a piece of wet
clammy
rubber.
mammy.
Clammy
And
mammy.
he's like, okay, I know you want to snuggle, but I can't take it. I was like, okay. And I don't take it personally, because I'm like, okay, I'm clammy mammy.
Plus, you're on fire.
Fire. You're like, girl, I just did my exercises and I'm hot and I don't want to add more heat. So I'm like, okay.
However, keep the lines of communication
Communication going,
open
yeah.
and let the other person know what the needs are.
That's
so
right.
if you're clammy and I'm just kind of going, okay.
Okay, she's
and however, I have to pay attention to what your needs are and what you're going through
Thank
and
you,
have a
honey.
firm understanding of this is something really, really serious in a
serious. It
woman's
is.
life. It's life changing.
It
Your
is.
whole life is different.
After menopause,
Right.
it is.
And
I
so,
know.
you're not having your menstrual periods, anymore, and all that's a change, and that's probably a blessing
I know.
to you. However, we got to live with all the other
That is true.
changes that are
That's right.
going on.
That's
And
right.
so the foods change. You got to do it. I have to do it with you,
With
right?
me. No, you're good about that. You're good about
It can't just you eat what you eat and I eat what I
that. I
eat.
know.
And we
I
just
know.
had to seek out what is going,
works.
what's a good, commonality between what
Right.
we're going to even eat and what we're going to go do.
I know it. And thank you, honey, for being patient all these years with me.
But what you read earlier, keeping the Lord centered,
Centered.
God
Yes,
centered, That is so important.
It was so important.
Because, you know, it's not like me telling you this or you telling this. If we have God and God is, say, our boss,
Right.
we have that, they have that third party. And as I
right.
teach clients all the time, instead of blaming somebody, go to that third party. It's much better, and that way you have room for negotiations and working things out. And so it is like the art of negotiations. It's going to be a harder negotiation. It's very tough on a relationship. That's why we're doing this show, because we've got to talk about the tough things in life.
That's right. That's right. And I just looked to the Lord for strength. And actually, you know, when I was going through this, when I was 50, and I called my sister, and I'm like, I have this tachycardia, I have anxiety, I don't feel right. And you know what? That's when I started reading my Bible every day. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I told Lynn the other day, I said, I have you to thank to just, you know, get me started reading it every day. And you know what? It really worked. It really, just stay in the Word. If you just stay focused on the Lord and stay in the Word, I mean, you know, you just have to, he'll show you the way, and he'll say, just like he said, take comfort in the knowledge that who we are on the inside. It doesn't matter what we are on the outside, that God loves us and he created us, and he knows women are going to go through this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He made us. He created us. It's like, okay, so I'm going to be with you because I know what it's going to be like. And, I have
a question. Reading the Bible, did it give you hope?
It gave me hope, yes.
Imagine the people not doing that and they're not God-centered. They may feel hopeless.
They may feel hopeless. Don't feel hopeless. Just start at the beginning. Read from the very beginning, 15 minutes a day. That's it. It'll take you a year to read it. But if you read 15 minutes a day, that's all you need.
That's all it takes.
I mean, he just wants to know that you care and that you're reading his word, and that, you know, that you're praying, and that prayer can be, it's not all that, you know, thou hast, and has to be so serious. It can just be it's your conversation with God. It's like, hey, you know, I journal every day. Y'all know I do. And I talk to him. I'm like, okay, this is going on, and what do you think I should do? And, you know, because I ask for guidance and wisdom and strength. And I read it every day, and I just read, 15, 20 minutes. Kirby and I pray together, say the Lord's Prayer every day together.
Yeah, we do. Of course we do.
And that's what changed my life. Really.
Morning devotionals.
Morning devotionals.
Yeah.
Because you
say
just
prayers at night before you go to bed. Say what you're grateful for. And
stay in that attitude of gratitude and thankfulness.
You bet.
And really.
So in this relationship, and men, it's very, very, very tough. Understand it's tougher on the women than us, actually. And it's time to stay true to who you are, to yourself. You need to trust yourself. You need to acknowledge to yourself that I am an award-winning husband. I am great. I'm going to get a prize, a huge prize.
Yes, you
the blue
deserve
ribbon, the trophy,
prize.
whatever it is, if I can just get through this with my wife. It does take a great amount of patience. However, it takes, I say, love your wife through this.
Yes.
Love your wife through this. Don't hate your wife through this. This is when the divorce word comes in. Love your wife through this. Understand they're not doing this on purpose. Not at all. It's just a chemistry taking place within their body, and they don't know what to do with it. We don't know what to do with it, but guess what? We're married and we're going through it together. Right.
Together, and go see your doctor and get your hormones balanced, and it will help you.
Whenever we counsel people that are wanting maybe to get married or in their relationships, you always have a good saying, when you look at the men and you go, what level of crazy do you want? Because we're all crazy.
We're all women are crazy. I always tell my nephews, it depends on what kind of crazy you can put up with and how much of it can you put up with, because we're all crazy. You got to figure out what crazy you like, because we're all a little crazy.
Right, and some of us men are that way too. And we have two crazy people coming together to form a relationship. We're being humorous about this. However, it's so true. But guess what? In menopause, that crazy is going to even get crazier.
Ooh.
It's going to get crazier.
Because you just want to feel like yourself. Remember, I just
Oh,
kept
I know.
always saying that to you. I'm like, I don't feel right. I don't feel right. I don't feel right.
Yeah, and she never hollers at me, but and during menopause, oh my
Did I
goodness.
holler at you,
Oh, yes.
Oh
I go,
my goodness.
okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. However, I understood, and I didn't take that as
Personally.
hollering, and I did not take it personally. And it didn't mean anything to me. I just know, okay, that's
She's
those
having one of
hormones
her
working. Boy,
mornings.
they're active. They're changing. So
know.
that's how you get through it. And understand, they're having to take different medications. They're having to do so many different things.
Yeah.
And you're trying to find out what that balance is because you're balancing your hormones. They're way out of balance. Now you have to find a way to bring it back in balance.
That's
So
right.
what that is, and here it's just going back and forth
and
and back
forth.
and forth. In the meantime, you're just changing. You're talking about going through the change. It's change. And it sees on back and forth and back and forth.
I know it.
And guess what? You're still going to play with that for a while, aren't you?
That's right. No, it doesn't end because, I parried at 48? I'm 58.
Period. menopause.
Ah, so yeah, that's already 10 years of it. So I don't know how much longer. Okay, I'm almost 60. What is that going to be like? Well, I have 4 older sisters, and they are in their 60s already. So
Yeah.
I know that they're trying to figure it out too. But everybody's different, like you said. Some have all the symptoms, some have none of the symptoms, a few of the symptoms. I mean, it's just, I still, I've never had a hysterectomy. I've never had children. I mean, so everybody's different.
Sure.
You just have to figure it out, unfortunately.
So we're just throwing up the warning signs is what we're doing and letting you know how it really is. We're talking about real life.
Real
We're not
life.
painting any pretty pictures or anything like
No,
this.
we're just gonna tell you how it is.
Some of these pictures could be a little bit ugly, but just know that when two people come together and you have a family, you can even involve your children with this, that when you all come together as one, and we're one family, we're one relationship,
Yep.
then what happens is that you're going to play off the strength of others. You're going to play off my strengths and what I bring to the table with you. And my encouragement, me cheering you on. And this
Yay,
is only
thank you, honey.
temporary. We're going to get beyond this. And we're going to go do these things together, and we're going and giving you more hope. And yes,
So
you
what-
have hope from the Bible that you read and God. You've got the hope from me. You got the hope from your kids. You need all that because you feel so weak and helpless. You've got to have strength, and that strength needs to be coming from all different directions. Your sisters, the rest of the family, your parents, your co-workers, your friends. It takes a huge support. I have friends that have gone through this, and you could tell their chemistry was just all over the place, and they would just cry for no reason at all. And you're cheering them on. Yeah, I understand. It's going to be okay. It's all
going to
right.
be
You're
okay.
supposed to go through this. I'm not embarrassed being around you. It's okay.
It's okay.
I'm your friend, so you can just be you.
So
Do whatever you want to
what does the husband
do.
tell the children when she's going through?
You be honest and let them know.
No.
Mom is going through menopause. Let's just talk about what this means. So say menopause. And it's a change of life, and we all have hormones within us, okay?
Yes.
And it's going to be a hormonal change. And these hormones are going to make you feel a little bit like a crazy lady, and you're going to be all over the place, and it affects your mind, and it affects you physically also, and there could be weight gain and all different things,
swings.
lots of mood swings. Mom's going to be a little bit of crazy lady, but guess what? We're going to come together, and we're all going to be the doctor. We're all going to be the person that's saying, okay, we prescribe love, right?
Oh, that's
We
a good
prescribe
one.
love. That's what we're going to show you. Plenty of love, plenty of encouragement. We're going to cheer you through this, Mom. It doesn't matter what you go. If you yell at us, if you're mean to us, you act like you want to hit us, if you storm out the door, whatever, we're going to love you anyway. We're going to go through this together as one family. And when you teach your kids that, and they come together and they know that, ooh, sometimes they're walking on eggshells or glass. So you've got to be careful where you step and what you say. You just got to be careful not to talk back and do things
don't
and fighting
aggravate
with your
them.
sister or your brother or whatever. And just, have a good understanding if they're smaller kids. However, most of the time when your parents are going through or your mom is going through menopause, you're a teenager.
Yeah, the kids are all.
Or maybe you're in your 20s, so you're a little bit older to
Older. I
understand.
just was thinking
But sometimes people had kids late in life,
Yep.
and so you may have 5, 6-year-old. I mean, I don't know. It's happened, 10 years old. And they just need to understand, because I don't want those kids to take it personally that they did something wrong and they're blaming themselves. We don't need that at all in our family. So they need to know it's not my fault. Mom's just going to be crazy for a while, and it's okay.
That's right. So just remember 1 Peter 5:7, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you.
That's right. So guys, you can do it. I know you can. I'm encouraging you. Women, I'm encouraging you. You can do it if you're going through it. Hang in there. You have our support. Write us. Let us know how you're doing. If you're going through this menopause and we need to talk more about it, ask us questions. Even if you're not going through menopause, write us anyway.
How do they reach us?
So
honey?
all you have to do is something called email, right? Email. You heard of that thing? All right. Happy at KirbyLammers.com. It's right here on the screen. Happy at KirbyLammers.com. Write us. We want to know how you're doing. If you have been going through menopause, you're still knowing what to do, you need some further direction, some further conversation, you just need us to love you and cheer you on, we're happy to do that. And
we're so happy together.
Yeah, so no matter what's going on in your relationship, we are here for you. This is the purpose of the show, just to cause some awareness. We see too many divorces out there. The purpose of our show is to cause good, loving, long-lasting relationships. It just doesn't have to be any other way. Does it take some work? Yes, it takes some work. Does it take lots of love? Yes. Does it take lots of friendship? Yes. Does it take lots of understanding? Yes. So that's all that it takes. Yeah, that's all it takes. We do that in our life. We'll look at each other and go, and then that's enough said. That's just like it's just putting a hard period at the very end of that thing, or an exclamation point, I should say. That's right, it will be done. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you learned a little bit about the craziness with menopause. And tune in to us next week. So anyway.
Okay, how do we end our show, Kirby?
How do we end our show? Oh, I totally forgot. As in every week. Mwah.